Have you ever wondered why there are things in our society that aren't even up for debate? You know, things like brushing your teeth in the morning, crossing the street on a green light, and absolutely getting a degree. It's the base, the foundation. It's what we're told as early as kindergarten that without it, you'll basically turn into a useless brick. For years, we've been methodically and gently fed the same story. Just do what everyone else does. Study hard, don't argue with the system, bring home that little blue or red book, and bam! The clouds will suddenly part for you. We spend 5 of the best years of our lives when our brains are at their peak, when our energy is overflowing, when we could move mountains. And for what? To discover a painful truth at the finish line? This golden ticket doesn't fit a single modern lock. No, seriously, we keep believing in this system. We are participating in a global arms race where the primary weapon is scrap paper, that very diploma. Today, we're going to break down how higher education turned into a massive financial and mental bubble that's about to burst, and why your degree is no longer a pass to life, but the most overpriced piece of paper in history. To understand the scale of this catastrophe, we need to use cold logic and switch off our emotions for a moment. Let's go back, maybe 50 years. Back then, a degree in engineering, economics, or medicine truly was a magical artifact. Why? Because it was rare. There's a law in economics you can't cheat. The value of any asset is determined by its scarcity. If there are only 3 apple sellers in town, they are the kings of the market. But if apples are growing on every corner and the sidewalks are covered in them, they're worth nothing. The same domino effect happened with education. In the past, higher education was a signal. It guaranteed an employer, look, this person passed a strict selection process. The diploma was a filter. But what happens when the filter starts letting everyone through? Exactly, it stops filtering. We fell into the educational inflation trap. We printed too much so-called educational money, and its purchasing power has plummeted into the abyss. In the middle of the last century, a degree was an advantage. Today, it's just a basic requirement, like wearing clothes to an interview. It's the 0 point. And here's where it gets interesting. To stand out even a little in this endless crowd of people with identical papers, we start raising the stakes. A bachelor's isn't enough? Everyone rushes to get a master's. Master's degrees became common? Bring on the second degree, professional courses, MBA, and fluency in 3 dead languages. We spend years and massive resources not to become smarter, but simply not to look worse than everyone else. We're afraid that without this paper, we'll be labeled second-class citizens. We pay for it with our time we will never get back. You spend 5 years studying theory that was relevant back when the textbook was written in 2010. Meanwhile, AI has already learned to code, draw, translate, and analyze data better than an A-grade graduate. 5 years of your life in exchange for the hope that you'll be noticed in a line of 1,000 identical certified specialists? It feels like we've been scammed somewhere. Let's talk about speed. We live in an era where technology changes faster than ever. AI, blockchain, neuroscience, these fields rewrite their rules practically every quarter. But how does classical education respond to this? It doesn't. It's in a state of deep, lethargic slumber. Think about it. To change a curriculum in a state university, you have to go through 7 circles of bureaucratic hell. Approvals, ministries, commissions. It's honestly just insane. So what do we get in the end? A computer science student in their 3rd year is studying algorithms from manuals written 20 years ago. An economist studies theories that don't account for the existence of global digital markets. We voluntarily fill up our most valuable resource, our memory. It looks like knowledge, it's called knowledge, but there's no life in it. It's dead. It's like being taught to drive a car on a wagon simulator. Sure, they both have wheels, but when you hit a real highway, you realize you have 0 skills. The gap between academic theory and real practice has become so huge that employers have coined a new term: on-the-job retraining. In other words, you spend 5 years to earn the right to start learning all over again in a normal company. It sounds like a bad joke, but it's reality. We pay the system to grant us a work permit, and then we pay the employer with our time to teach us how to actually work. Let's be honest. The education system isn't a gym for your brain. It's a trainer for your obedience. Think about it. What are A's actually awarded for? Creativity? Finding non-standard solutions? Critical thinking? No. You get an A for reproducing exactly what the teacher told you as accurately as possible. You followed the instructions perfectly. You didn't argue, you didn't question outdated facts, and you turned in your paperwork on time. As a result, we get the straight A trap. A person gets used to the idea that the world is a place with clear rules, where you get a candy for completing a task. But when they leave university, they enter a world where candies are given to those who break the rules. No, seriously. While you were fighting for your GPA, the C students were out there getting bruised. They learned how to negotiate, delegate, find workarounds, and, most importantly, they learned how to fail. While the A student falls into a depression over a B, the practitioner sees failure as just another way that didn't work. And these aren't just my thoughts. This is the reality of major corporations. Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Google executives, they all say in unison, we don't care about your degree. They need hard skills, what you can actually do, and soft skills, your ability to solve problems that didn't even exist yesterday. A degree guarantees neither. It only guarantees that you're capable of doing boring and sometimes meaningless routine. Yes, that's a useful skill for office drones, but is that the limit of your dreams? We buy the status of being educated, forgetting that in 2026, being educated isn't about the volume of info in your head. It's about the speed at which you can update that info. In the real world, your degree isn't a pass. It's just a receipt from a very expensive restaurant where you never actually got a proper meal. So what now? Burn the certificates, drop out, and go live in the woods? No. The problem isn't the learning itself. The ultimate skill of 2026 isn't the ability to pass exams based on last century's manuals. It's the ability to unlearn and learn again. Your value today isn't measured by what you learned 5 years ago, but by how quickly you can master a new tool tomorrow morning. A degree can give you a theoretical base, but it won't give you drive. It can give you a piece of paper, but it won't give you a reputation. Invest in yourself, in your real projects, in your mistakes. Because in the end, when you come face to face with reality, it won't look at your grade sheet. It will look you in the eyes and ask, what can you do for me right now? The world has become too fast for slow systems. And if you want to not just survive, but win, learn to see the difference between being educated and having a piece of paper about education. If you also feel like something in this system is broken, subscribe. Here, we will continue to dissect this strange world without unnecessary hype or rose-colored glasses. Let me know in the comments, has your degree been useful, or is it just the most expensive tea coaster in your life? I'd love to read your stories. No, seriously. See you in the next video.